Hey, good day, everyone. Welcome to episode 66 of Reading with Ayo. My name is Ayo Lawrence. I have a great friend with me today. Krystyna and I met actually as part of a project that she was doing for my work. And we just started talking and we just started, have some great conversations. And we're like, oh, let's bring these great conversations to Reading with Ayo, because our conversations when we sit down and talk, it's very good, great. And I really appreciate it, Krystyna. After we have those great conversations, I always go back to rethink the way I'm doing stuff. So we're bringing our conversations to people now. So Krystyna, introduce yourself. How are you?
Thanks, Ayo. I'm doing great today. Happy podcast day, everybody. It's great to be here. Ayo, I feel the same way about when I speak with you. I always learn something. I always enjoy our time together. So I'm really excited about our conversation today. I'm Krystyna Riley. I lead a management consulting firm called Havior. We help organizations really improve their performance through behavioral science. So really focusing on behaviors that drive business results. So that's part of what we worked with Ayo earlier. Well, it was last year, I guess, Ayo.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to know you over the past year.
Yeah, I love your team. I love your team members. We've become friends. Like Vince and I actually had a discussion the other day. We've, from being teammates to friends, which is really cool. So, I know Havior, and I love, some of the things you guys are. You guys used to be called Alula, and you're called Havior now. Do you know why did that change?
Oh gosh, so many reasons. So, first and foremost, we didn't own the domain of Alula. So there are other companies out there called Alula. We didn't own alula.com. And so it just didn't really help us from a growth perspective and for people finding our company. And then we also wanted to have a name that really represented what we do. And we felt like Havior, it's behavior simplified, right? It's behavior without the BE. And we felt like that just tells our story so much better than Alula did, because we really do focus on behavior and how it impacts results. So those were the two main reasons. We're really excited about the rebrand. We've, changed the way in which we work with clients. We've really changed the way in which we show up. And we feel like Havior just fits us and our culture so well.
I love it. I've been following Havior on LinkedIn and some of the things you guys have been putting out there and the Hive stuff. So if people want to go follow, learn more about, Havior, follow them on LinkedIn and follow the Hive and subscribe to the Hive articles that are out there. I've learned so much just reading some of those things. And just speaking of Hive, you guys talk a lot about leadership. And the other day when you were in Houston, we had coffee and we started talking about leadership. And I was asking, because for me, I want to lead everywhere I go. I want to lead in my family. I want to lead around. That doesn't mean I'm dominating people, but I'm leading, right? In every area of my life, right? Even at work and things like that. And we started talking about leadership and how can we improve leadership? And you said something that blew my mind. I need you remember when you said it, I was like, wow. And that's all I kept saying. I said, you said, hey, they don't teach people how to lead. That's why people don't lead really well. And when you said that, I was like, wow. And he said, if you want to be an IT person, they teach you how to be, you go to school or you go to something to be an IT person. If you're going to oil facility, they will train you everything to how to, be able to work in that. So leadership is dealing with people, which are the most precious resource that we have. Why aren't we training people to lead?
Right. It's such an interesting concept, because you're right. People spend years learning technical skills, engineering, finance, whatever it might be to help them in their jobs. And then we just expect them to be magically good at leadership once they reach a certain level in the organization. And why would we think that? We spend years and years studying other things to be good at them. And leadership isn't just a trait, right? It's a skill, and it's a learned skill. And that's the good thing, right? You can learn it if you practice it, if you get feedback on it, if you get reinforced on the right leadership behaviors, you can learn it. And so I just think it's a missing piece around organizations that they aren't spending enough time really helping leaders be effective and really devoting the time that it takes to get good at a skill that, why would we be good at it if we don't intentionally spend time practicing it?
Yeah. Because one, like every resource that we have, like if you're going to like as you facility, you're trying to get the right, oil out of the out of the ground. If you're doing an IT technical work, you're trying to do the right code so you can get the right app. If you want to get the best out of people, you got to know how to harness the power of people as a leader, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how do we train people to do that? Just going beyond, because I've seen a lot of leadership programs. They will teach you how to give feedback, how to manage performance, how to do all the HR comical stuff. But if we don't train people how to harness the power of people to get the best results and get the right performance.
It's so true. I mean, I think we have to break it down into really discrete behaviors and I know we'll talk about this a little bit later, just the power of focusing on a critical few things to try to be good at. But that's really the case. You can't just blanket try to learn leadership overall because that's overwhelming, right? And everybody has to approach leadership in their own personal way. And so picking a few things to practice, to get feedback on, to work on, I think is the start. And I think a lot of times people think of leadership as just being this motivational figure, just being really charismatic. And, there's a component of that. Of course, you need to inspire people. You need to be able to, make them want to follow you, follow your direction. But ultimately, I think that leadership comes down to clarity, right? Clarity beats charisma every day. I think that the job of a leader isn't necessarily to only inspire people with speeches, but it's to really reduce confusion. And so to help them understand, what you expect of them, and then give them feedback on how they're doing against those goals. So start small, practice, get feedback, have a few trusted people who you can go to ask, how am I doing at this? And be open to that feedback. I think that's a hard thing for people too, because sometimes when you hear the constructive, it doesn't feel good, right? And you might want to become defensive, but the only way to get better is to really accept that feedback, work on it, be open to it, and move forward.
Yeah. How do leaders get the best out of their people?
Oh gosh, that is a huge question. I think, there's so many things. I think doing what you say, right? So setting expectations and then following them yourselves. So that you are leading by example. I think that's a big one. I think people can really, once they respect you, once they know what you say is what you do, that goes so far for folks. I think that if they believe that you have their best intention at heart, I think that matters a lot. There's a big piece of trust and vulnerability that makes a good leader. And I think, it's the things that you do every single day that make people want to follow you and to stand by you, versus, again, just these sound bites or just trying to be motivational, but not actually backing it up with your behaviors. That's where leaders can really misstep.
Yeah. There's one thing you said vulnerability, right? There's one leader both of us know. I'm not going to mention her name, but she was good at that. There was one time I went on a trip with her and we were talking about something and I was just telling her, I was like, oh, I didn't know about that. Can you tell me more? Can you teach me this?
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And like for a leader to just be able to say, oh, I expected her to know, but let's say like, I don't know about that. Can you teach me that? And it was so powerful to me. I like that.
I love it.
That drew me so close to her. So like I always tell people, you don't have to be the most powerful person, to show up. Oh, I know everything. And as a leader, sometimes you just got to say, hey, you got this. I don't know how to do this. You do it. And
absolutely
being able to delegate as well is what leadership is.
You're so right, Io. And I think sometimes people get promoted into leadership positions because of their technical capabilities, right? So you were super good at a job for those years of school that you went to, the years that you've been engaging in that craft, and now you're a leader and you kind of want to still do the technical pieces, but that's not your job anymore. I think the best thing for a leader to do is really surround themselves with the experts that they need to be able to get the job done, because you shouldn't know everything. You shouldn't be able to do everything anymore. Your biggest role is really setting strategy, communicating it, reinforcing it, really allowing the people around you to grow and elevate them. And that is leadership, not doing the job yourself. And so any leader who thinks that they know everything, I've never met anyone who knows everything. I certainly don't know everything. I wouldn't want to know everything, because we should always be wanting to grow and be around people who can help us do that and learn from.
No, like there's the favorite book that both of us like. It's What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
Yes,
that's actually a good book. And I think yes. Most people's leaders should read that book, because it helps you to take a step back and just hey, the things I used to do before is not what I need to do now to lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, thank you for this part of this recording. We'll go back to the next part and people will hear the next part. But I just wanted to close this part by saying, from what I've heard, is leadership, there needs to be training for leadership. And it's not just about training on how to do performance, how to do, everything that you need to do in the HR world for leadership. It's about, how to lead in a great way whereby your people, you get the best out of people. That's what leadership is. And people need to be trained in that space.
Absolutely. I agree.
No, thank you,
pleasure.
Krystyna. Yeah.
Thank you.